want to, I'll get you flowers waiting around the bend. Baby, let's just pretend. I wanna stay like this forever. I wanna stay right here with you. Wanna stay right here with you. As the rest we fall until it all breaks down. But I need it so I will stay around when you're all messed up. It's a great relief to be understood. It's a shame still waters run deep. So let us walk right into the forest, to the trees and the rising sun. It is something we can't outrun. I do whatever it takes to hold you, whatever it takes to you. Wanna be in this game for two. When it all comes down, do you feel alive? Are you feeling lost? You were made to fly, but you're so much more than a memory. It is not easy. It's a shame still waters run deep. As the rest we fall till it all breaks down. But I need it so I will stay around. And when you're all messed up, it's a great relief to be understood. It's a shame still waters run deep. What the hell? Still waters run deep. Listen up now. When it all comes down, do you feel alive? Are you feeling lost? That you were made to fight, but you're so much more than a memory. It is not easy. You were made to fight. It's a shame. Still waters run deep. If you want to, I'll get you flowers waiting around the bend. Baby, let's just pretend. I wanna stay like this forever. I wanna stay right here with you. Wanna stay right here with you. As the rest we fall until it all breaks down. But I need it so I will stay around when you're all messed up. It's a great relief to be understood. It's a shame still waters run deep. So let us walk right into the forest, to the trees and the rising sun. It is something we can't outrun. I do whatever it takes to hold you, whatever it takes to you. Wanna be in this game for two. When it all comes great relief to be understood. It's a shame still waters run deep. What the hell? Still waters run deep. Listen up now. When it all goes down, do you feel alive? Are you feeling lost? That you were made to fight, but you're so much more than a memory. It's not easy. You were made to fight. It's a shame. Still waters run deep. If you want to, I'll get you flowers waiting around the bend. Baby, let's just pretend. I wanna stay like this forever. I wanna stay right here with you. I wanna stay right here with you. As the rest we fall until it all breaks down. But I need it so I will stay around. When you're all messed up, it's a great relief to be understood. It's a shame still waters run deep. So let us walk right into the forest, to the trees and the rising sun. It is something we can't outrun. I do whatever it takes to hold you, whatever it takes to you. Wanna be in this game for two. When it all comes down, do you feel alive?
G'day and welcome to Duckzorly Gaming and our live stream on the multiplayer server on Ravenport for Duckzorly Gaming. G'day Robert, how are you mate? Okay, we have got in the house DJ and Jimmy J, otherwise known as JJ, so I've got the J's in the house and we are going to get some work done on the multiplayer server. G'day boys.
Hey,
How's it going?
Good. You're trying to sound Aussie. I'm good, thanks, Robert. I'm good. How are you? All right. So we're just going to get stuck into some work. Strangely enough, I'm out here on my farm with the Big M, and we are going to mow this this field. It's just come into being ready for harvest. So we're going to do it because we need to make sure we've got a good supply of grass up for our sheep and also for silage used to make some money. Darren Cassell's in the house. G'day Darren, how are you bud? How's that map making going? Any progress? So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of farm work. JJ's up on the farm, on his farm at the moment, and he's doing some silage work and some plough work and all that sort of stuff. Our farm is a sheep farm, and what we're going to do is shortly we get a few more people in the house. We'll go and do a tour of the farmyards, particularly of our farm that we've built up, which I'm fairly happy with at the moment. Still needs a little bit more work, but I think it's a reasonably well laid out sheep farm. But I'm a bit biased. But yeah, so we'll go from there. So currently I have DJ working with me on my farm. He's just tidying up the sheep and the wool and everything at the moment. While I'm off here making a mess of the fields, and JJ's over on his farm. So the way we've got this set up, we've actually got 3 farms shared amongst everyone that comes on board. So we have one for basically our American friends, just primarily because of the fact that they're on sort of the same time. They've got a nice large area they can work with. Then there's my farm, which is open to anyone to come and help with. but it is primarily sheep and grass based, strangely enough, which you'll see in a second. And then JJ is running his farm, and he's primarily doing silage work as he's the owner of the BGA. Hey, g'day, Si. Long time no see. Surprised I haven't seen you in the server yet. You're more than welcome, as you know. Yeah, so that's what it is. So what we're going to do is I'll just finish this run around here. We'll do this header row, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look at the farms on the map, see what the layout is, and then I'll take you for a tour very shortly of my farm and its layout. Now, my farm was built with the... Oh, this is... Sorry. Let's go back a step as well. This is Mark II of the multiplayer server. So when the 1.2 patch dropped, there was an issue with the save game, and Giants have come out and said basically that there may be issues with save games where trees have been removed and stuff like that in previous saves prior to the 1.2, which may have been the cause as to why we were having so many problems. But what I decided to do, because I couldn't get the existing save up and running again, we started afresh. Now, so that's what we've done. We went from having 5 farms to having just the 3. We were going to have 2 farms, but then we had this Kiwi join us, and I didn't want him working too closely to me, so I gave him his own farm and told him to stay away. So JJ's got his farm, and he's working there. And I'm only joking with that, by the way, about staying away too far. We just stay away.
Fair enough.
All right, so I'll just finish this run up here, and then we'll go and have a look at the farm. Yeah, international relations at its best. You're right, Si. We love not getting along, but that's okay. That's okay. There's 2 Aussies and 1 Kiwi in the server at the moment. Although from the way DJ was yesterday, I think he's more Kiwi than Aussie because he was a bit of a trader yesterday. But we'll leave that for later. All right, we'll shut down the Big M because we'll let that. Don't want to waste any fuel, and we'll head over and have a look at the farms. And after we've had a look at the map layout, so the 3 farms we have Lord of the Grass Manor. That is my farm, and as you can see, there's 2 players currently on that, myself and DJ. There is the American Heartland. That is the farm where our lovely American friends work. Chris Webb is the farm manager of that farm. Also, Jerry Grizzly Bear Sims will be a farm manager of that farm as well. And then we have the All Black Farmstead. That is JJ's farm. And that's up in the middle of the map, which we'll get to and show in a second. So that's basically the farm layout as it is. Now, all the farms... When we started out, I brought in a few $1 million. I bought all the land allocations for each farm, so no one had to actually buy their existing land that was all bought for them. All they had to do was then buy their equipment and do any terrain editing to make their farm up. So as you can see, we're all down at about $1 million now, give or take. Obviously, I had a little bit extra money, so I've done a few extra alterations, and I can tell you what you're going to see at my farm in relation to the alterations cost around $3 million. So I've spent $3 million just in the layout of the farm and the terrain editing. So we'll cover that shortly. G'day, DC. How are you, buddy? All right, so that's the 3 farms. Now, if we have a look at the map, we'll have a look at exactly where we're all laid out. So this is the Ravenport map, as you would all be aware. I'll just zoom right out. Okay, so the southern area down here, I'll turn the lands on so we can see the farms. So the red farm down here is the American Heartlands farm, and this is where all our American and European friends will primarily be, just for time zone. There's no reason they can't work on the other farms, but this is primarily where we set them up so they can play together. So, for instance, there's Chris Webb, Grizzly. Who else has been playing? Grizzly Bear Sims. Who else has been on, boys? Elroy's been here as well, and he's been playing. So yeah, so they're the ones that are manning this one. Now they've done no terrain work or farm work down here yet. They've just done basic work on the farm, and they got a few pieces of equipment down there, but they're getting started. As you can see here, the yellow farm here. This is All Black Farmstead, managed and run by JJ, apparently. So he's got the 3 fields here, 6, 12 and 13, and he's also owns the BGA. All right, and the one up the north here with fields 1, 2, 3, which isn't a field anymore. Field 4 and 5 is Lord of the Grass Manor, and that's where we have our sheep station. So just also server rules. Each farm is only entitled to have 1 set of animals. The exception that I've made for that is chickens. So for instance, if JJ wanted to run cows, he could have cows and chickens, which means that the American Heartland couldn't have cows. They can't have sheep because I've got sheep, so they can have either horses or pigs, but they can also have chickens. And we can also have chickens up here on our farm, which we may well do at some point in time. All right, so that's the map overview. So we've still got room to expand. So if JJ wants to expand, he makes enough money, he can buy 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 or whatever. So too can the Americans down here, or so too could I if I wish to. But there is no further money being injected into the game. What they've got now is the money they've got to deal with, and they've got to make profit from then. Yeah, certainly DC. If you come on, you could be with work with JJ, but you can work with anyone. So the other thing is we need to talk about is permissions. Now you may not be aware of the permissions in the game and how it all works. So currently for Lord of the Grass Manor, I'm the farm manager, as you can see here. For All Black Farmstead, Jimmy J is the farm manager, as you can see there. Of course, I'm also an admin of the server. Now DJ, he's actually assigned himself to Lord of the Grass Manor. He can also then, yeah, Red, same thing. You can be whatever you like, DC, not a problem. But yeah, Red would be probably the most likely, sorry. So DJ is assigned to our farm, and I can promote him to farm manager if I wanted to, or I can assign him individual rights. So I can make him now be able to buy and sell vehicles. Okay, I will give him the ability to reset vehicles. I'll give him the ability to hire assistants, and I'll give him the ability to manage contracts. Okay, so that he's got those permissions inherently. I'll also give him buy vehicles and sell vehicles because I trust him. Only because he's Australian, of course. So I've got those. I can also kick and ban him if I want to. Now the ban, the important thing with the kick and the ban now too, is the multiplayer registration is based upon the actual key of the version of the software you've got. So it's not just based on an IP address. So once you disconnect from the game and come back in with a new IP, you bypass the ban. You would have to have another entirely separate session of the game, or another copy of the game with another game key to defeat this kick and ban. So that's a very good thing that they've added in. So for Jimmy J, he's at All Black Farmstead. As I said, he's farm manager. Now you'll also notice here I've got an option to remove contractor access. He's currently got contractor access, so he can come over and work on my farm. Now similarly on his screen, he's actually given myself and DJ contractor access to go and help him, which means I can go through to any of his equipment and he can come through to any of my equipment and help out as such. But anyway, that's all that is. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head down here into our farm and just sort of showcase what we've done here.
No.
What? What have you done?
Oh, I was about to tip over the bloody trailer.
Oh, okay. All right. Now
Yeah.
this is the crossing of death. Now, on this map in this server, the train has it in for me. It seems every time I go to cross over here, the train is barreling down here and tends to catch me. If I get caught up with a piece of equipment on the rail line, I'm guaranteed to be hit by the train. So it's quite a dastardly area, actually. Right, but as you can see, we've done all the terrain editing here. Now, on my Discord server, I've got images of what I did in the last server, or the last test in modifying. So it's a little bit different, but what we've done is we've paved all this area with gravel and we've given us a nice gradual slope down in here, whereas before this was quite a severe upslope on grass. Yeah, right, thanks DC. Okay, and what we've done is we've installed some sheds, done a little bit of landscaping around here. So as you can see, we've got some sheds. Now most of these sheds here are from the LS Mod Company pack. There is a review coming up, a mod review coming up from me, I think it's scheduled tomorrow or maybe Monday night on these. So all these sheds in here at the moment, and the silos bar one silo. In fact, no, that silo is also from LS Mod Company. From LS Mod Company. So They all have, those ones over there all have working garage doors, lights, except for that one over there. That one doesn't have a light switch, even though it's got lights. So this is all our equipment yard. So we come over here. Now, people have been asking about the grass and when you put the grass down. So all this area here, I actually modified the terrain as well. You can see here I've got grass growing, okay? But in this area here, for instance, where I've got grass, there is no actual grass growing, not that you can really see it very clearly. Now the reason it's growing here is the only way, once you've done terrain modification, to get grass to grow back where you want to put a terrain mask of grass on it, is you have to plough it and sow the grass again, which is exactly what I did through here. So I re-ploughed this and then sowed the grass, so I actually got grass growth through here to make it a bit more realistic. Otherwise, all you're going to get is the terrain edited grass, which is that very flat looking grass. I think you'll see some just here. That's all you'll get, otherwise you'd just get that texture. Okay, so we've done that. We've got our farmhouse here. We've added some shrubs. We've also got the placeable shrubs from LS Mod Company. So that's what all these little shrubs are here. We've placed all those through. Now there is an update to the terrain editor coming where shrubbery will be included in some way, shape or form. So that'll be good. I left the door open. Must have been DJ. All right. So that's one of the sheds there with all the lights left on. Over here we have a workshop. So this one here, it's got 3 sheds here at the side, and also in this big double door here we've got the workshop, so we can do our customization and repairs of the vehicles in there. Okay. Coming over through here we've got 2 silos. So these are for all our arable crops. Not that we're going to have that many on our farm, but we've got plenty of storage through there. And then this silo over here is basically there just purely for holding grass, because those ones over there don't hold grass. I found out after I installed them. So we're using those. We've got an all-in-one silo here, which provides us with our fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, lime and seeds. Another little shed over in there. Oh, in here we've got, this is actually not a bad shed, this one. This is quite a long one. And it perfectly fits our header trailer, our header in there. So that's tucked away in there, out of the way. We are using primarily Case on this farm as well, Case IH equipment. And then we come over here and we have our sheep farm. So there goes DJ. He's loading up some wool bales on the trailer. So we have 6 sheep pens, I think it is. Yeah, 6 sheep pens. And we have all the variations of the sheep. So we have the white sheep there. We've got, what have we got in here? The brown, I think. Brown in that one. Coming along here. These are all the large pens, by the way. There's the black and whites in there. We have the black sheep in here. So this is normally where you'd find JJ. He's a bit of a black sheep. We have the mixed breeds in here. We have the black and the white in here together. And then in our final one up here, we have the black and the brown. So that's our sheep pens. So that's our farm. So basically we've cut in, we got rid of our field. And as you can see, we've got a bit of a cliff here. There are fences going to go in along through here later. And that's what we've got. So that's the Lord of the Grass Manor. Now, yeah, like I said, there isn't anything else being done. I don't think... JJ, you haven't done anything up at your farm yet, have you, in relation to changes?
No, trying to build up money first before I do that.
Good boy. There you go. All right, so that's it. Oh, don't need that. Get rid of that. All right, so we're just going to go back to mowing some grass. Well, I hope you like that little tour. That's quite happy with the farm at the moment. Just a few other little things I want to change on it, but yeah, it took a bit of time. It took about 4.5, 5 hours to do all that, get it all right. But yeah, it's functional now, and it's big.
Massive.
Oh, it could have been bigger.
Oh, it could have been, but you know, we didn't make it bigger, or else you wouldn't have had room to do anything like for grass.
No, that's right. That's right. But anyway, So now we just got to make sure we've got plenty of grass. Once we sort of start building up our sheep numbers, we've only got about 20 to 30 sheep in each pen at the moment. So that will obviously increase as time goes by. But at the moment, it's fairly manageable. So while it is manageable, we are going to build up our stocks of grass, whether it be bulk grass or bales. What we'll probably do is store bulk grass as much as we can initially, and then bale it, because the bales, obviously not having seasons as yet, the bales won't rot or anything, so we can either put them in a shed or outside or whatever else, and they'll stay as they are, so that won't be a problem either. Not very happy with DC and Cy though in chat, you know, guys. They're continually trying to pull the mickey about me and my driving. I think it's very unkind and very uncalled for.
I was defending you.
You're in chat now, are you?
Yeah, he snuck in earlier.
Oh, did he? Oh, there you go. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad, but...
Who's that? It's very soft. I'm just going to check the...
Sigh. The sigh's really soft.
Well, we know that, but I'm talking about his voice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. His voice is soft.
I'm going to turn his user volume up a little bit and see if that... Alright, so I have a chat again.
Any better?
Partially. Turn up your volume a bit too on your end, mate. I've turned yours up to maximum here. Or drop them and actually use them like you should as a bloke, not a girl. Not that I'm being sexist at all. I'm just reality. Get him away.
Yes, you have. Oh, I'm still getting.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit better. All right.
If I aim my mic to my mouth a bit better.
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I think it might just be the connection too. Actually, it just sounds like it might be cutting in and out. That's okay. We can hear you now. All right. So DJ, when you've finished over there, if you want to grab the rake.
Yep.
And we'll rake these rows up, and then also we'll collect it with the loading wagon. Ah, Nathan's in the house. G'day, Nathan. How are you, buddy? Now, for those of you that aren't aware, I can't remember what name he's given the map actually, but Nathan is doing another new map for 19. And I can tell you from the screenshots I've seen on the Frontier Discord, it is looking magnificent. So I'm hoping I get to actually do a bit of a test and preview of it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But we'll have to wait and see. But rest assured, guys, I can let you know that when there's two maps I'm really looking forward to so far. That's Nathan's map. What's the name of it, Nathan? And also, well, three actually. There's three I'm really looking forward to. Oh, sorry. So there's Nathan's map. There's Oxygen David's map, which is coming out, and also Stevie's rework of Ringwoods. So looking forward to those. I'm not really going to worry about any other maps. I am playing that Outback one at the moment for the Outback series, only because the fact it's an Australian map, and it actually does feel a little bit like an Australian map at the moment, so we'll go ahead with that. But yeah, those three are the three I can't wait to get hold of. So Meadow Grove, that's right, Meadow Grove. Yes, I don't think I played it. Oh, no, I did play it. I did play it briefly. I only played it solo play, actually, in 17. I didn't get to play it enough because by that time I had Lone Oak and I had everything else going. I had Valley of the Old Farm, which I've got to finish editing a couple of videos up for that as well. But yeah, so guys, if you haven't already checked out Nathan, make sure you go over to his Facebook page, search for Nathan6930, or ping me in Discord and I'll give you his direct link for Facebook. Fantastic work. He also does some screenshots. You still doing the photo screenshots, Nathan? Or are you just holding off on that while you're doing all the map making? Because he uses one of those reshaders he did in 17 anyway, and took some beautiful screenshots, which I was never able to do, as in use the shader. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Alright, so what we're doing on this farm, on Lord of the Grass Manor, is obviously our primary push is going to be grass to support the sheep. Now, so obviously grass work is going to be a very big part of it. Now, one of the advantages, I guess, is once you fill up the sheep, as long as you don't get too many sheep, like buy any more sheep in, and your reproduction cycle doesn't go cuckoo. When you restock the sheep pens, that's supposed to be enough for 10 days. So certainly in 19's default game, we will have more than enough opportunity to have grass regrow at least twice in between that period of time. So grass won't be a problem. Now, in the previous multiplayer server, I had every field, so I had the 5 fields in this farm set to grass, and I had so much grass cut I didn't know what to do with it. I was actually wasting it. I ended up starting up a big silage run with JJ. This time we are keeping an arable crop up north, so the other big field is going to be an arable crop. So at the moment we're growing soybeans, and they're purely just going to be for profiteering. So planting a crop, selling it, and then gaining the money from it. Because the wool doesn't make as much money as it used to in 17. We just did a load last night. We had a high demand for wool, and DJ and I, instead of going to bed when we're going to, stayed up for another hour and took all the wool down and delivered it. And brought the wool out of 2 trailer loads of wool. We got $30,000 or $33,000, which wasn't a great deal. But by the same token, once we sort of get started with our 6 pens, that will still start turning over quite quickly. So it won't be too much of an issue, considering our cost for running the sheep is basically 0. So. Anyway, all right.
Duck,
yes.
Did you want the tedder or the other one?
Sorry, just the windrower. No, just bring the windrower over. Or windrow it, so we don't have to do as many runs with the collection with the loader wagon.
I was a bit confused there.
Sorry, I might
right.
buy a second loader wagon as well, so we can both sort of do it. We may need it when we've got a lot of grass to bring in. Especially when I start going around and cutting all the grass around DJ's fields and stuff like that as well. I'll do that when he's not here, because otherwise he might want to use his grass for silage, but I'll just cut his grass and take it away.
And DJ or JJ? Because you said.
Oh, sorry, I meant JJ. See, the J's are just confusing.
I wasn't even going to correct him on that.
No, because
you're for JJ to do that for me.
Because you're polite. Being an Aussie DJ, you're polite and you actually like getting along with people. But him being the Kiwi, it's like any opportunity.
You say something stupid, then you're kind of screwed yourself.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll have plenty of opportunity to get back at him.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get my IKEA face put on for you.
How's that forage harvester working for you, JJ?
How's the what? Sorry.
How's that forage harvester working for you?
Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's outputting now, is it? It's not doing nothing.
No. And you're quite welcome to my grass duck.
Well, you weren't going to have much of an option, really.
That's why I said you're quite welcome to it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. I was going to do a rant today too, but I'm not in a rant mood. I've got some other things I want to rant about with giants. Some new stuff. Some new stuff.
What were you actually going to rant about?
No, I'm not going to disclose it. It ruins the rant.
No, you can disclose it afterwards.
I can save it up for a video, or I can do another live stream on it. But I have some new subject matter for a rant with giants.
Yeah.
So, and no, it's not those four-legged things.
No, the ones that you already talked about, like before this even came out.
Excuse me for a second. No, I don't want you to make me rant. You're supposed to be the wife that's supposed to be sitting there and being quiet. Shush. This is why it's always a good thing to do streaming or recording late at night when she's in bed. And also when the young bloke is in bed. He's just woken up. It's now midday, 10 past midday. He woke up about 10-15 minutes ago as I'm streaming, not even that. So now I've got these two sitting in the background, and I'll have little sniggering comments or wise ass remarks. So yeah, we may cut the stream very short because I may have to go and lawyer up or something too, by the way. So yeah. All right. So as you can see, we've got DJ over there now. He's now using the windrower. You're in the John Deere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the thing for like 2 minutes. I'm like, where'd you put it? And I was all the way at the shop. I don't know what it's doing at the shop. I put it away last night.
Well, I left it at the shop because I was going to buy. I was going to buy the new loader wagon, and in fact, I should have bought the loader wagon before you brought it over. If I'd known you were going to use that, I would have done that. But anyway, we can collect that later.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I had some new stuff to rant about, but I'm gonna hold on that. I'm not in the ranty mood today. But I am. We've just had the 1.2 patch. Now they have fixed some things. There's other things they haven't fixed. I will give them due kudos. The terrain editing tool is good. I will have a mini rant. Here we go. I will have a mini rant.
Yay.
The thing that annoys me with their terrain editing tool is, now I know the map as a basis, and Nathan will be able to sort of confirm this for me and my belief. The map is based on a grid layout, and the very poor part of the terrain editor is when you go to the square tool as opposed to the round tool, is you are locked to the grid. So you are unable to reform a new grid. So for those that have played, for instance, Planet Coaster,
yeah,
you have a locked grid in the basis of the game. Now,
which is terrible.
Which it is terrible, but when you do go to place a placeable item, whether you're building a building or part of a roller coaster or whatever else, but particularly the building stage, which is based upon squares and the grid, when you have the option to place a piece and create your own new grid based on that object. So if I was to place a building, so for instance a shed, I could offset that by a number of degrees from the base grid, but it would retain its pattern. I'd still be able to build on it and add further grid pieces to it, or square or rectangular pieces to that building, without it defaulting back to the base, effectively map grid. And that's the poor part that Giants has implemented. Now, I would hope that maybe in the future, they will be able to rectify that and make it so as we are able to rotate the square tool. So, for instance, at the moment, if I was to go to my farm, that's the other thing I wanted to mention too. But anyway, I'll get to that. If I wanted to lay out a square grid of, say, concrete in front of a shed, now the shed isn't locked to grids, as you know. So the shed can be rotated to any angle. That's not a problem. But you then can't align the concrete pad with that shed and or the base pad that it puts with that shed, which makes it really ugly. Now, the other thing I did notice as well, speaking about the pads, is that I am positive that when Giants showcased in their video the terrain editing tool, they used a texture which was a concrete tile. So you laid the concrete down and it created like a paved tile effect. That's not available in, well, that I can find in the terrain tool for painting of a texture. Is that because they pulled it out? Is it because it's not an option? Is it because it's an extra feature set that they added in for their version? I mean, maybe it was just me, but that I find very annoying in the fact that they showcase it. And I thought, oh, that's great. I can put a paved area around my farmhouse, for instance. But it's not in there. So I would like to know what happened with that. But yeah, so I mean, that's my big bugbear at the moment with the terrain editing tool. I mean, other than that, I think the terrain editing tool is great. As you can see, I've done a fair bit of work. There's still a lot more I have to do in relation to the farm. Now, I did play a fair bit with creating like a little rockery area and a little bit of a rough area, and that you may have seen briefly as we walked around it, and adding the placeable shrubs which are available from LS Mod Company that I'm using at the moment, because they're not available in the terrain editing tool, which was quite lacking. Well, starts to make the farm look a little bit better. I like adding those little extra bits of, I certainly think those shrubs and that around the sheep pens, for instance, makes it look a little bit more realistic and breaks it up a little bit more. So I'm really appreciative of the guys at LS Mod Company for bringing that out. But anyway. So Nathan's just commented, one thing he doesn't like is you can't paint any foliage like grass or bushes to make your farm better. Yeah, I did mention the grass thing earlier. I don't know if you were here already, Nathan, but that is a problem, and a lot of people are bitching about that. I mean, I know Silver from Silver News was talking about it the other day. I mean, to me, it's not a game breaker per se. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to do, but as I understand the way they've done the painting and it effectively just acts as a mask. And the only way you can remove the mask and put the texture back in from the grass, for instance, is by ploughing it and removing that mask. I may be wrong. I don't know that much about how the GE and the maps are put together. And I mean, obviously Nathan would know better than me. But so, for instance, on our farm, that's exactly what I did. On an area where I'd actually deformed the terrain and made the changes, but then once I'd finished, I wanted to have a little section of grass there. I then took a little plough in, I ploughed the area, I then planted the grass, and then over a one-day cycle, I had grass there. So it actually looks fine there now, and you don't know. I mean, that's a minor bugbear for me. But I guess the other problematic part, and one of my subscribers mentioned in the video that I did, or the live stream video we did on the terrain editing preview, was what happens when you do overwrite your field a little bit that you didn't want to, and how do you get that back? That's a bit more problematic, and I mean, I guess there is no real undo tool, and as far as I'm aware at the moment, the only way you can rectify that is you have to replough the terrain, edit back out, and then replant it and fix it that way. I don't know if there's going to be any quick and easy solution to fixing that sort of a problem, but it would be nice to know that they've at least thought about it. If there is a possibility of fixing it, to fix it. But anyway, I mean, all in all, the terrain editing tool is good. My only problem with it is it should have been in the game on release. I recall now, I think it was VF mentioned, I was talking about it on the Frontier Designs Discord not long ago. I am adamant that I recall someone from Giants was either on the forums or on their Discord when they were sort of first announcing the placeable farms. They stated that you'd be able to place. Someone asked the question. They said, yeah, you'd be able to place down roads and paths and all that sort of stuff. And then the game shipped, and lo and behold, you couldn't do it. So when you did make your farm and you placed everything down, it looked pretty crud because you couldn't do it. And then you obviously also restricted them by the auto leveling of the placeables and all that sort of stuff, which we've been and gone past. So yeah, I mean, the train editing should have been there at launch. I think possibly, and the only thing that I can imagine is that it was supposed to be at launch, but they had difficulties with it and they had to hold it back. Is possibly the only thing I can think of. They wouldn't have necessarily come up with that train editing tool at very short notice. So I don't believe it was something they've just made after release. But anyway, so yeah, so we'll see. But anyway, this is what I was talking about with that little area I made, where I tried to make it look a little bit rocky, added some plants in. I mean, again, it's a little bit angular. There's a little bit of area there I need to fix up. But I think overall, when you actually look at the overall view, it actually looks okay. Over the back here of this shed as well, I made it a bit. Did I? Well, no, I haven't done that yet. I did on the previous version. I made it a bit more rocky over here and had a bit of rocky outcrops and stuff, and I'll do that again later. I've got to smooth a bit of this off and all that sort of stuff. But the ability to actually do that now is much better than what it was. Now, Nathan reckons there is a tile one. Alright, let's have a bit of a look. While we're here, let's have a look. So I've got DJ off in the farm. Yeah, so what we can do, we go to our terrain paint tool. Now that is rock. So what we'll do is we'll just use it here. This is the other thing that annoys me. When you first start up, it does a random one. That's our road texture. They should have the names. It'd be nice to have the names here as well. We have concrete. And we have our base dirt. Bit of mud. More mud. Our mottled texture. Our grass. Our dirt with grass. Our grass. Our gravel. Our rock. Mud, a bit of a shiny gleam to it, a sandy type look, and there's the wet mud, there's the dark mud, and then there's a concrete there. Now, I've not been able to get the concrete pattern there, so maybe if I go to that, I've done that before, so there's no tiling to it. And that's annoying, because they definitely showcased it. I know they did. Anyway, we'll forget about that for now. Oh, maybe it's a tile set just for the European map. Well, that's possible, I suppose. It's very, very poor for them to do that. We'll just tidy this up while we're here.
When you got it selected to paint with the square, can you rotate the square?
No, that's what I was talking about earlier with the grid. That's what I'd like to see them fix and change. To have that ability. But I mean, I'm not silly in the fact that that's a significant change in the way the mechanic works, because then they've got to have effectively a way of actually remembering that's a different offset to the grid, like you're not fitting it to the grid. So yeah, Nathan, that would certainly make some sense. I haven't used the terrain editor, admittedly, on the European map as yet. So yeah, you're right, and that's probably something I should check. So if that's the case, I apologise for my mini rant giants, but you should have included it in both. It shouldn't be dependent upon this style of the map, it should be available on both. And I would like to see, like I said, the names of the textures. So I would like to see you actually come out and put the names on them. So one is gravel, but one is grass, one is mud, whatever else. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's one in all in. It has to be all of them to give true flexibility. I mean, okay, we're playing the default map at the moment, but what happens when you bring your map out, for instance? I mean, obviously, do you have to then assign what textures are available to... In fact, that's a question for you. Have you already seen that? Do you have to actually assign the textures that are available, and do they pull them directly from the map? Is that how it works? It actually pulls the textures that you've made inherently part of the map as the terrain editor. Is that how it functions? Which you can then understand if they don't have the naming convention to it, because if a map maker doesn't put a name to the texture they're using, then perhaps it won't show. So yeah. Anyway, that's yeah, another question without notice. Right, where's that train? He loves poleaxing me. All right, now this tractor's not really built for pulling this, so.
No, it's the shitty one.
Okay, so yours is using the European base. Okay, so yours will have those in. It'll be interesting to know if you happen to find out, Nathan. Can you drop me a line, whether it be in the Frontier Discord or whatever, and just let me know about the fact of whether it actually will just default to the textures you put in the map, or whether you can add extras to it. I mean, someone's obviously going to know at some point, but it'd be nice to know. Like, it'd be nice if in a way I could say, for instance, not that I'm capable of doing it because I hate using GE and GE hates me. I would like to be able to put, say, for instance, a different texture into here, and be able to have it apply to the map. So if you're going to edit the map, add the extra texture into the data subset, the texture subset, then you can actually use that. But anyway. Okay, Fabio, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Download. What's downloading now? 19. You only just bought Farming Simulator 19 site. Oh, there you go. Did you enter my competition? You could have been a winner of that. Oh, actually, I've got an announcement for that too. For that competition I did for Farming Simulator 19, by the way, guys, the two winners, one had sent me an email, but they haven't contacted me again back to get the details of, so I can send them the actual game code. But one of them has not replied to me. Now, it is currently the 15th of November. Now, I've given them 31 days to reply.
15th of December.
So what did I say it was?
November.
15th of November. Okay. It's now the 15th of December. I'm getting it from all sides now. Thank you to my secretary sitting on the couch behind me. And yeah, I've given them 31 days. So the competition closed on the 19th of November. Oh, sorry, competition closed on the 18th of November, and they were advised on the 19th of November that they'd won. So if they do not contact me within 31 days of that date, I will have, well, possibly both of those copies of Farming Simulator 19 up for grabs again. So they will be put back into a form of a competition for a copy of the Steam edition of Farming Simulator 19, because they're sitting there ready to go. So if you haven't already got a copy of Farming Simulator 19, you're just holding off for a bit, then keep that in mind. You may well be able to get your hands on one for nothing if you win a competition that we put forward from the channel. Alright, now I think this slow, we might just keep stocking up our silo, and then we'll go back to filling up the silos once the silo is full. Oh, thanks, Fabio. I'll get to that in a second. I'll just read what Nathan said first as I'm trying to get through here. I don't want to crash, because otherwise I'll have Cy and DC on my back saying I can't drive again. because they're as consistent and as ever. So Nathan says, I'll have a look into it as my map. As on my map, I have got a text that has concrete and dirt, so it would be interesting to see as you can merge textures and make a new layer. You do it in the i3D and Notepad. Okay, cool. All right. That was the other thing too. Actually, while we're before I forget about my total rant, the other thing I would like to see. Now, again, I don't know how possible it would be. Now, you see here where I've got the textures of the two different... What was that?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I've got the two textures here that I've painted. I would like a blend tool.
Construction complete.
So can you just turn yours off the press to talk, please, while you're playing another game?
Complete.
Yeah, what I would like to see is I'd like to see like a blend tool. That'd be really handy. Like that, you actually just apply to the edges here and it sort of blends it in a little bit smoother. That would be really, really nice to have. I don't know the complexity of how hard that would be, but that would be nice. Excuse me for a minute while... Oh, he's been muted? Thank you. Oh, he's turned his mic off. Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Si. Sorry. I know your construction is complete, but it doesn't really append to our game. Now, Fabio said, nice grass texture, where do you get it? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so... my build of the game, I am using all the forgotten crop textures from LS Mod Company. Erebus is the author of them, and that is where they are from. So I have a video on my channel somewhere where I've done a mod review of the forgotten crops features. Now, it did not include a new update which came out overnight, which is an update to the grass textures, and I have applied that this morning to my game. So I have the grass textures are a little bit more full and a little bit greener and all that sort of stuff than what they were even before, and that is why my grass probably looks a little bit different to what yours does by default. It's a fantastic mod. It is very easy to install. However, make sure you back up your files. And I do talk about that in the mod review. There is also another one they've done which modifies the all the big bales and big bags and all that sort of stuff to a new look as well. I am going to do a quick mod review on, or if I've done the mod review on it, I just have to finish editing it and put it out. Yeah, that will come as well. But I haven't installed that here yet either. So you'll see that in the next couple of videos or the next stream. Stellaris, yeah, no worries, Si. It's all good. It's all good. Nathan says they have said no to blending textures now because you can create your own new layers. They've took that out. Bill, I've asked them about it and they said no. Okay. Yeah. Well, see, I think they're missing the point there. I think it's a very poor decision by Giants, if that's the case. Yeah. Very, very poor. Look, it's getting my blood pressure up again. I'm about to start ranting at Giants again. Look, I said it in the Frontier Discord, and Nathan would be aware of it. Giants have really dropped the ball with 19. I know there are still a lot of fanboys out there saying, oh, it's great, there's nothing wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of people that have actually should know better and expect more from the game as well, that are also saying that the game is fine, there's not a problem. I don't think many of those people are actually really looking at what the majority of people are having problems with. Yeah, some people, it's like, I'm going to rant a bit, sorry, but when the game first came out and there was all these people having all these controller issues, I saw some of these people that were sort of saying, no, there's no problems, the game works fine, you just remap your buttons to your steering wheel, blah, blah, blah. The only problem is some of these half-assed turkeys that are running YouTube channels, and yeah, I can include myself in this, they aren't doing the proper research. They aren't really looking into what the problems are. So, for instance, I know there's a couple of YouTubers out there. A couple of them are fairly prominent. And they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with the controls, da da da. No, there's nothing wrong with the controls if all you were using was a steering wheel. And those particular YouTubers were only using a steering wheel. However, if you're running a steering wheel and a joystick and or a Cytec/Logitech side panel and or a Windows Xbox controller and or multiple joysticks, you are having multiple problems with the controls because the game was overriding the default controls and also the controls you were remapping. But they were quite insistent. No, there's nothing wrong with the game. These people don't know what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Not the case. What it was the case of is Giant's very poor implementation, but furthermore, the complete lack of decent QA. QA, for those that aren't aware, quality assurance as in full beta testing, alpha testing, and testing of the product in all stages as it goes along. Now, there's other multiple aspects of things like, so let's go to my favorite, the Big M. Why the hell was a model let out on the game that couldn't be refueled? I mean, we're talking the most common basic things that should have been tested and checked and can easily be tested and checked by a QA team. I mean, it was just embarrassing and incompetence. There's no other word for it. It was incompetence on behalf of the QA team and Giants that things like that were let through. Another one, the levelers. The fact that the levelers didn't work in the silage pits. Again, it's a fact of incompetence. There's no other word for it. That's what it was. And yet, there's so many of these people were saying, no, there's nothing wrong with the game, it works fine, blah, 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 as I get caught up in this railway line. Where's the train? Okay. Yeah, and I mean, it's not the case. And I mean, that's... Yeah, okay, Farming Simulator 17 had problems when it was released. So too probably did 15 and 13. So too did multiple games. But there are so many aspects of what was wrong with this game on launch that should never have happened. It's just... It's incomprehensible to actually understand how they didn't get picked up. And like I said, I mean, I work in quality assurance. I mean, quality assurance is part of what I do. And there's stuff there's no chance in hell should have ever gone out. I mean, you always argue, okay, there's maybe that many problems with the game they haven't picked up and that shouldn't be. Like, there may be technical issues, like, okay, the placeable height sometimes doesn't work properly. Fine. There's sometimes a bit of a random type thing or a specific scenario where something doesn't work, and that's fine. You can excuse that. But when you've got something like a basic tractor or piece of equipment that doesn't function in one of its core functions, I mean, one of the things they pushed was the fact of the realistic fuel usage and the realistic damage. It's like the same thing as if the realistic damage was shown on the Big M and then all of a sudden you couldn't repair it. Again, that's a basic function that should have been tested. I mean, it's not hard. The QA tester has a list of things to check. Right, Joe, you've got to test the Big M today. Here's your list. First thing you do, can you buy it from the store? Yes. Can you make any configurations that are needed? Yes. Can you start the engine? Yes. Can you stop the engine? Yes. Can you get in and out? Yes. Can you drive around a field? Yes. Does it mow? Yes. Does it do this? Yes. Does it refuel? Oh shit, no. Okay, give that back to the team. That's a quick fix. Done. It's obviously a quick fix because Stevie fixed it within day one. And when he first put his first Big M mod out, it fixed the fuel problem. So for those of us who are playing with it without getting that mod, if you're using the Big M, and I mean, look, not everyone likes the Big M like I do, but if you're out there using the Big M and you run out of fuel, well, you had no option. You had to sell the Big M and buy a new one. There was no other option for it. And it took them, well, they didn't even actually technically acknowledge it on the forums. After 2 weeks, it miraculously came up in the known problems list that the Big M refueling was an issue. But it's just like, I mean, basic stuff. And I'm going to stop because otherwise I'm going to keep on ranting and ranting and ranting. It's just embarrassing for them, and it's embarrassing for us as effectively promoters of the game, because that's effectively what we're doing. We're promoting, we're unpaid promoters of their product, and it's embarrassing to us as well in the fact of they had such a shoddy product release, and it's just the way it is. I mean, but anyway, we'll stop now and we'll move on to something a lot more pleasant. Although we'll read the comments, so we don't know what's going to come from them. So let's have a look at those. So Battery H, g'day Battery, how are you, buddy? Has said greetings from the swampland. Yeah, g'day mate, how are you? Nathan says, yeah, it's a poor thing by Giants as you cannot get the look you like. Yeah, look indeed. I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. I have heard things from other people too about certain members of staff at Giants that and there's also the push from the publisher apparently too. The publisher's getting a little bit pushy up. But anyway, I won't divulge that stuff at the moment, but unfortunately, that's what happens with publishers. Battery says, I'll be honest, I think the Giants managed to grab exclusive licenses and figured that they would drive us straight into CNC. They didn't have to exert themselves. Well, that brings me to my other rant that I had early on in the piece before it was released, and I don't think CNC is the product they should have been worried about. I think Pure Farming was the product they should have been worried about. And I still think, yeah, that game didn't get a good launch. But you know what? I reflect on it, and I do play Pure Farming still a fair bit. It got a hammering on launch because it didn't have steering wheel support. Which I understand. But was it any worse than what Farming Simulator 19 had on launch? Noting the fact that effectively Farming Simulator 19 should have quite easily had the exact same mapping capability than what Farming Simulator 17 had. So there's no real excuse for Giants for cocking up their control inputs. Okay, yes, they did make a slight change in the fact of making key mapping available, button mapping available in the game as opposed to going out to the menu, which brought in those inherent problems in the fact that it was always polling the devices and checking for mapping and all that sort of stuff, which was, I think, the... Oh dear, what'd you buy? Someone just spent 153,000 of my money. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. Yeah, so I mean, there was that issue. But the thing that Pure Farming did that Giants didn't, and this is what, it'll get me back to the horses, it will. Pure Farming brought out a farming game that brought to us a whole pile of different farming options. They brought rice farming, they brought orchards, they brought watering, they brought all this wonderful, unique stuff to the farming genre. Now, if I had been Giants, I would have looked at Pure Farming and going, you know what? They've obviously done it. It's not that hard. Let's bring something like that into the game. What did Giants do? No, they brought oats into the game and they brought these horses in. Now, I am going to go there. To me, the horses are in the game for one reason only. I reckon, and I'm happy to stand corrected by Giants if it's not the case, but I wouldn't mind betting that Focus told Giants that we want more girls to play the game, so therefore why don't we put horses into the game, because that'll pull girls into the game and it'll increase our demographics and therefore increase our sales, because girls will want to play Farming Simulator so they can ride horses around the farm. Now, I'm not being sexist, it's just purely a factual driven thing. I think it is based primarily on greed, and there's no other term for it, from the publishers being Focus. And I think that's the main reason why we've got horses in the game now. They serve no real purpose to the farming game, and it's like forestry. I'm not a fan of forestry either, but I won't get started on that part. And I really think they've done an injustice to the game by putting the horses in, to be honest. They would have been far better off bringing something like perhaps goats, or even better, increasing the variation we have for actual pure farming. And I mean that not as in a pun to the name of the opposition, but in relation to the fact of giving us more crops, giving us vineyards, giving us orchards, giving us irrigation. I mean, why the hell haven't we got irrigation for the farms? Why aren't we required to put water on the farms? What, it magically gets watered? They've given us lime. Okay, that was a nice easy fix. A very expensive and pain in the bum type fix instead of having to replow the fields every 3 times or 4 times or whatever it is. But I mean, come on, guys. I mean, open your eyes and broaden your spectrum a little bit more. It's very, very poor. Sorry, it just is, and that's certainly my opinion. It may not be right, and again, I'm happy if Giants want to come out and correct me quite publicly. More than happy to stand by it. But until they do, I'm quite adamant in my belief that the only reason, and here comes the train, I'm quite adamant in my belief that the only reason we have horses here is purely for a sales aspect, and it's purely to get girls into the game, and purely to make Focus and Giants more money. Nothing else. Anyway, right, finish that rant. By the way, horses are banned on this multiplayer session as well. So we're not having horses. I've already told everyone that. So, there you go. End of rant for now. Anything else? Right, I'll read another comment, see if we get another rant. Pure farming is a bit of a fun to play. The wheel support was a shame, but really, if pure farming had any level of mod support, it would be really interesting. I like the international flavour. Mate, I agree entirely. I think pure farming is a great game. And I think a lot of people should probably go back in and try it that have got it and sort of dumped it because of the fact of the control issues. Yes, they were an issue to start with, and I hated the keyboard response at the start of the game. But now with the steering controls, I actually don't mind the game. And even on launch, I didn't mind the game using an Xbox 360 controller with Windows. It was quite good, and I still enjoy the game. It has all the variation. DJ and JJ, I'm sorry, I'm ranting a bit and not interacting with you guys, but yeah, I think it's great. And the rice farming, and like I love doing, the thing I like doing the most actually in pure farming is running the orchards and doing all the irrigation and the herbicides and all that sort of stuff on it. I mean, look, the herbicides were good in Farming Simulator 19. That's good. Their weed implementation is rubbish. It's just too regular, too often. I have got a video coming out explaining the weeds as well, and how the weeds actually work and propagate and all that sort of stuff. It's not quite as simple as what it seems, but it is far too regular. It needs to be a lot more random, and it's a pain in the bum. I mean, on the server we've got weeds turned off because we were just finding that every couple of hours we were having to deal with weeds on all the farms, and it's just stupid. So I mean, obviously seasons will probably fix that, and I'm confident that Seb and all the boys at Realismus Modding, when they bring out their seasons, it will make the weeds a lot more manageable, and I look forward to that. But for the moment, weeds aren't an option for farming on here, and the guys that certainly play on here will be in agreement. I know Jerry was frustrated with the weeds, and I believe he's got the weeds turned off. No, he hasn't got the weeds turned off on his Let's Play. I know that, but certainly it's an option that many people are doing because it's just too much of a pain. Anyway.
And you're terrible driving.
Shh. You're not supposed to be watching and reporting that, okay?
Oh no, because I just look back and see where you're going with the grass. That's all.
Oh, I was just trying to.
And I look back, and you're trying to mount a wall there that you previously made.
It's just because the only way to come across that railway line is you got to come across an angle. I came too straight at it, so I wanted to make sure I didn't get caught up on it and get poleaxed by the train again. So that's the reason why I did that. But anyway, all good. That's the problem when I rant too much. I can't drive straight either. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So Battery also says, that's what I thought when I saw the horses as well. Nathan says it's got to get more girls in because look at the tractors, you can change colours on, you can get pink. Yeah, I think, I don't know if the pink is part of the fact of Stevie's input. I think part of Stevie's draw was the fact that he was adding pink to the tractors in 17. And there's a lot of people now that have that link to using pink for the cancer charities and stuff like that, and that's certainly the reason why Stevie does it, because he has a close affinity with one of the cancer charities in the UK. But yeah, I think a big drive of it is like I said, yeah, it's to get girls in the game, and that's the only reason we've got horses. And it's disappointing. Beyond anything else, it's just disappointing.
I think one of the problems that Giants is doing to shoot themselves in the foot is that, I haven't confirmed this, but I've heard this, that they don't have different departments for the PC version of the and console version of the game compared to the mobile version. They all work on both, the whole lot. So you got your workers currently, working on 2 games, and because this one's just come out, so they'll be working on the 2020 version of the mobile game while trying to sort out this and support this at the same time. Instead of having 2 different departments to deal, just concentrate on 1 game each.
Oh well, you know that because coming to the what we call the death of 17, it's not dead, but I mean it's dead in the terms of the fact that it's not the current version. When 19 was coming out, you saw that by the fact that the approval of the mods in the mod hub became so much less regular, because the fact that the team that were normally looking at the mods were obviously looking at the work on 19. Now, I would argue if that's their QA team, they shouldn't have bothered going on to 19 because they didn't actually do anything with 19 anyway. But that's another argument. But the thing with what was I going to say? I lost track of what I was going to say. But the thing with having multiple teams working on multiple games, or 1 team working on multiple games, yeah, it can be problematic. It can also work in their favour, but the detrimental part. I mean, you can have it where you got a team that works on multiple platforms for multiple games. That's not so much of a problem, but the limiting factor. And I'll come back to it. It's the QA. I mean, that is the point where you're supposed to pick up the issues. Now, there's a couple of things. If in their organisation, their QA team per se is not actually a dedicated QA team, it's a homogenation of programmers, designers, and whatever else. Well, you're not really doing a true QA because you're not looking at it from an independent point of view and looking at it from all different angles. I mean, that is why in traditionally past companies like software companies like, and I've worked for a couple of software companies as a QA tester off the side, but you do it as a totally independent process. You actually pull the thing apart and you try and break it, which I'm generally quite good at doing, at breaking things. And then you send your report in, and then it's up to that other team, the development team, to actually go and fix it. And it's the same thing what I do at work for simulations and emulations. I'll put out a design spec for the guys, and they'll actually go off and make it. Then it comes back to me, and then I'll actually go through and operate it as I expect it to operate. And if it doesn't operate as expected, then I write down a QA sheet, and I hand it back to them and tell them to go off and do a rebuild or modify it or whatever else. And there's a whole pile of those. I could do 500 of those in a day. But I'm not actually doing it myself, so I'm not actually skipping over something. Oh, I know how that works or whatever else, because that's the failure part of it. And if they have, and I'm led to believe that's part of the case, part of the QA team is part of the design team, then that's going to be part of their abject failure. I mean, realistically, from a QA point of view. But anyway, I keep on harping on that point. I mean, hopefully someone comes out and says, no, Duck, you're wrong. We have got a separate QA team, da-da-da-da. And if that's the case, well, maybe Giants should look at sacking them or re-educating them, because they obviously didn't do a very good job with 19. Sorry. I'll leave it there for today. I won't say any more about the QA anymore today, hopefully. But, yeah. All right, next comment. Sai says, no, it's fine. I just wish I had popcorn. Bahaha, thanks for the spot. Almost missed in going off-road. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully I haven't put too many people off in going on a rant and all that sort of stuff. But I wish in a way that some of these And look, I'm not. Someone may think I'm in a way I'm sort of dishing Simulate and Virtual Farmer, and I'm not referring to them at all. I just want to make clear that I'm not referring to them in their comments. I was a little bit disappointed in a way that Simulate and Virtual Farmer didn't show some of the stuff in a way that wasn't so well performing during their live streams and stuff. However, I get it. I get that they were probably limited in what they were told that they can show and all that sort of stuff. And look, they're there as guests of giants, and I understand that. And I don't think any more or any less of them for doing that. I mean, they're there to do a job, and kudos to them for being in the place where they can do that. My bitch in relation to the YouTubers that basically aren't telling the truth effectively or being realistic in what they're actually reporting back is more akin to those that definitely are not those two. Those that don't have a specific tie to either Focus or Giants as a company in relation to product placement, endorsements, all that sort of stuff, whatever. And they're not really being true to their viewers in my opinion. And one of the things I will always try and do is you'll get it straight from me as to what I feel. I won't sugarcoat it. And I must admit, for those of you that follow World of Tanks, for instance, I was actually very pleased to see Quickie Baby, who is a community contributor for World of Tanks, for instance, and I'll digress a little bit here, but he actually called Wargaming out for their Christmas promotion thing where it's promoting gambling, and he basically said effectively shame on you, and really sort of tore them very polite strips, which is good to see. And I mean, I guess I wish more people would actually probably do that.
Okay.
To make it so as people actually do get an honest appraisal. I mean, look, people are watching our channels. I mean, look, I've only got a very small viewership, and I understand that. But I want people to know that they can come here safe, to know that I'll call a spade. Black is black, white is white. The only grey is painted on the side of a warship. And that's the way it's going to be. And I mean, whether you like it or not, you're going to know where you stand. And I mean, all the guys that actually, like DJ, JJ, Eustace and Jerry, they know me well enough now. They know that I won't sidestep around an issue or whatever else. If I have an issue with one of them, I'll tell them straight up. If we need to do something or whatever, I want to say something, we'll just say it. But always being mindful of being sensitive to people's feelings, all that sort of stuff, where it talks about an individual. But by the same token, you've got to be true to yourself and call a spade a spade. I mean, you don't just sort of sit there and say, oh well, it's a spade, but really it could be a hoe, because if you scrape it this way, it does this. So when you turn it on the side, it doesn't do anything for anyone. And I think particularly in this day and age, in using social media the way it is, blowing the wind up, the proverbial of a software company who's not necessarily done the right thing and is not necessarily being perhaps so forthright with what they are doing. It needs to be called upon, and like I said, Quickie Baby did that, and I would like to consider in some small form that I do that here. But anyway, all right. So we've spent the whole stream ranting and not actually just playing. So and the wife just says, "Yeah, shut up."
No, hang on. Let me say something. Your grass silo is full.
Right. So now dump it in the silage clamp.
All right.
Well, at least in talking about all that, it's actually made dealing with this build a little bit quicker and easier. So, JJ, you've been very quiet for once. Only because you couldn't get a word in, I suppose, but... I don't need your heckling in the background.
No, I was just pretending to be a psychiatrist for you. And
oh, were
you? Streaming cheaper than therapy.
Look, I mean, I'll open up to you guys, and including Sai, who's still here. So he's got the mic off. Do you guys disagree with anything I said, for instance?
No, I don't really.
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. You're not just saying that because you're part of the channel and you're on the stream or anything? Just for clarity and transparency?
No, of course not. No, me falling asleep during it had nothing to do with my
Oh, you bastard.
Consistency is the key.
Yes, it is true. It is true. Consistency is key.
No, you did right. I mean, the only way you can fix a problem, the first thing to do to fix a problem is recognize there is a problem. And you can't do that without talking, analyzing, or getting different views from it, you know? So
That's right.
It's important what you say. It's your view. People either agree, disagree. They put their point of view across, and you have a look and you have a listen, and then you think about it, and then you get to the core and fix it. Or you can ignore all that and just don't do anything at all, which doesn't benefit anyone.
True. We're going to need to get a leveler as well.
I'll pick one up.
I'll
grab
do it.
mine because you're contracted to me,
okay.
so you can pick mine up.
Oh, it's alright, we're going to need one here anyway, so I'll go get it. I only need a small one here anyway, because our stylish clamps are very narrow. I'll go over and do a bit of a driving trip. So at least we've actually done something and people can do it. So Sai says, actually I think you gained viewers during the rant. Well, I'm not so sure about that. I haven't had any new subs during the rant, but that's okay. Whether or not I don't doesn't really matter. It's not. We're not all. I mean, look, as everyone says. I mean, ultimately, you do look at your subscriber base, and I mean, I look at mine. It's nice to see it's still growing, and we'll get to that magic 1,000 at some point. Not that I'm looking at making a fortune from it, but it'd be nice to sort of get. That's the next main goal that we have for the channel, and then we see where we go from there. But I mean, yeah, that's not the be all and end all, but it is nice to see people obviously joining and stuff like that. But if I get 1 subscriber a day or 1 subscriber a month, I don't care. It's growth, it's positive, and I certainly hope that they enjoy the channel and the content. If not, then they leave, and that's fine too. I mean, it's like my phantom disliker that I always talk about. I have this person that seemingly watches every video, and as soon as the video is out, there's a dislike on the video. And more often than not, I think out of all my videos, I only ever had 1 or 2 videos that have had more than 1 dislike, which is good in a way. But there's always that one. Very rare to I think there's only a handful of videos that don't have a dislike on it, so he must have missed those ones, or she. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I mean, it's all part and parcel of it. But I mean, look, if you want to be that narrow-minded and egotistical that you hear and you sort of have to plant, and then you change your opinions, or you change who you're friends with, or you change the way you do things, because all of a sudden you become a YouTube sensation by getting over 1,000 subscribers, well, you're not doing it for the right reasons anyway. So chewy on your boot and just bugger off as far as I'm concerned. But for those that are loyal and do it because they enjoy your time or whatever else, well, so be it. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got some very good friends that have come from doing this, and not just from actually doing this, like just from actually starting off. And like I said, it all starts, and this is, and I hate to say this publicly, I really do, but thankfully he's not here. All of this has all started from Eustace Pharmer. I've said it many times previously, but it started when many months back Farming Simulator 17 hadn't been released yet, and I saw a video. I was watching a YouTube video for something, I think it was water tanks or something at the time, and on the suggested watch list there was this video that from Eustace Pharmer. I can't remember which one it was, and for some reason I must have been really bored at work and clicked on the wrong button or something. So I watched his video, and I had a bit of a cackle to myself and thought, no, this bloke's pretty good. Started watching him, and then by that it introduced me to Jerry at Grizzly Bear Sims, and there the friendship and all that sort of started. We had Three Dudes Gaming Network. I went and joined them over there and started being part of their group over there, and it's gone from there. And honestly, from Eustace, I hate to say it, I have got some very good friends. I regard Eustace and Jerry, who's Grizzly Bear Sims, as two of my closest friends, even though we've never actually met, but we've spoken at length and all that sort of stuff. Two guys you couldn't ask for nicer guys, basically. And I'm never going to say that about Eustace again. But and then on top of that, there's everyone else, like everyone from the channel, like so JJ and DJ and Chris Webb, and I give Chris a terrible time, but he's a lovely lad, and then yeah, Cy and DJ, JJ, Fabio who comes in, Robert Muller who comes in and keeps on stirring up between me and Johnny V. I mean, the list goes on, and I mean, I've got to meet some wonderful modders and map makers like Bullet Bill and Nathan, who's been in the channel, Virtual Farmer, and all those sorts of guys. I mean, having those interactions and those friendships form, it's great, and I've always said that the farming simulator community, I mean, apart from a little bit of toxicity in relation to modders and map makers and stuff like that I've certainly seen, which is a little bit worrying, but all in all, the community is one of the best gaming communities that I've sort of been a part of all my time of gaming, so 30 odd years. So yeah, it's all good, and that's the reason why we're here and doing it. So anyway, I think I digressed a bit then too. Nathan says, I've had you in the background while I map. Obviously it wasn't too much of a distraction, otherwise you would have just turned it off. Or maybe that's what you're implying, you had me in the background with it muted.
Maybe that's why the views dropped earlier.
Yeah, but it could well be. Could well be. He's probably run off and gone, oh, Duck's ranting again, keep away. But see, it's like, you got to. I know I mentioned VF and Simulate the other just a little bit earlier. I mean, I've got to give kudos to VF, for instance. I mean, VF has, I mean, I don't know how many thousand subscribers he's got now, but it's a lot. I mean, I would rate him as probably one of the more successful farming simulator streamers now that we've got, and obviously there's Daggerwin as well. But I've never really sort of gotten along or enjoyed Daggerwin stuff as much as what I have the others. But the reason I mentioned this is the other day I was doing the live stream of the train editing tour. I did the train editing preview, which a few of you came in and joined me with, and we did that. And I mean, he certainly didn't have to do this, but VF was going to release his video on the train editing. So he did a video on it, a recording on it. He actually delayed the release of his video while I was live streaming, and he didn't launch that till after I'd live streamed. Now, I mean, to me, that was a very touching thing for him to do. I mean, in the scheme of things, like with my, what am I at, 630 subs or whatever it is, and him with his many thousands of subs, yet he delayed the launch of his video, effectively so it didn't impact on my live stream, and I was so grateful for that and touched by that. I thought that was a very, oh, shut up. I thought that was a very nice thing for him to do, and I mean that's what I mean. I have the utmost respect for VF. I think he's an upstanding and wonderful bloke. So yeah. I've got the young bloke in the back here going like as if he's crying. Smart ass. But anyway, yeah. So I mean that was that was a very good thing for me. I thought so. Kudos to VF, and again I thank him for that. I'm going to kill these two in a minute.
Sniffles in the middle of the summer. Maybe he needs a vaccination shot.
Yeah, he needs a bit more than a vaccination shot, I can assure you.
I don't know your son, but I already like him.
JJ just said, Ryan, he doesn't know my son, but he already likes him. Yeah, haha, sucked in, Dad. Oh, Jesus. This isn't really working at all. You said levelers are working.
You gotta unfold it.
Well, I didn't think you did with this one. That's the other problem. It won't fit.
There is a
the only
smaller
size?
one.
Yeah, there's a smaller one. You got the biggest one you could get.
No, I got the small one. I got the 4 meter. That's the smallest one. Oh, there's that
No,
little
there's
green one,
another
isn't there?
Oh, look at that driving.
I'll go grab it.
All right, you go grab it then.
I'll go grab it. You buy it and then I'll go grab it.
I'll sell this one.
Mhm.
Well, I just had to keep Si happy. That's all it was.
I'm disappointed. You didn't flip over. You were just 45-degree angle.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, won't do
I
that
thought
anymore.
Tilt was on a pinball machine.
I'm not here for your amusement when I do drive like that. You know that, don't you? You're supposed to turn away. You're supposed to be polite and just turn away. I don't do that anymore either. What was that? Alright. Alright, so where were the levels again? Oh, 3 meters. Okay, that was 4 meters. That's the other thing. Nathan, are you still here? Fabio, do you have the start of your making of your farm video? No, I didn't actually record the making of the farm on this one, Fabio. I had considered doing one like that, but I probably won't now. Because there's so many other people have done that sort of stuff. But no, I definitely haven't recorded it. Yeah, Nathan, what I was going to ask you was... What was I going to ask you? Go on. Clear it out of my head. I was going to ask you a technical question. No, I might PM you on Discord when I remember. Oh, I hate that. Nah, I've lost it. Sorry. Sorry, Nathan. Go back to Mappy. Alright.
And remember, folks, Prevagen is only 60 USD for a bottle for 3 days.
What? What was that?
DJ called it. I said, and remember, folks, Prevagen is only 60 USD for a bottle for 30-day supply.
Oh, nice. Nice. Now I know why it's good that we only see you once every 6 months.
At 3.5 weeks.
Oh, dear. Alright. Well, I'm actually guessing we're going to get pretty close to actually having to call this. Well, I think we'll wait for that leveler to come. And then we'll go that. What we might do is might go up and see what JJ's doing. Let's go have a look.
Still ploughing.
Still ploughing? Do you want me to bring a plough up and give you a hand?
Actually, I'm just doing the last bit, so it's all good.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm just joining up my 2 fields, so that's all I need to do.
Okay.
You can come and watch if you want. I mean...
No, I'd much rather watch grass grow.
Yeah, well, ploughing. It's the cure for insomnia.
Yeah. Alright. Well, the wife and child have just left. Now they've gone to pick up the other girls, so that's alright. Yeah, that's better.
Much better.
I bet you're hoping it doesn't work, Duck. Starts
No, it
up
works.
again.
No, it works. No, it's... But see,
Working pretty well, actually.
I mean, look, I'm happy to stand corrected, but I recall those levelers actually worked folded and unfolded in 17, and I just expected it to work the same. So, Alton Paget. Love the rants. Keep them up. G'day, Alton. Thanks for joining, mate. Are you a I think you're a new subscriber, aren't you? Or have you not already subscribed? If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And I can guarantee you'll get more rants along the life of Farming Simulator 19. There's more rants to come. I've got more built up. I'm saving some.
There you go. Have fun.
Oh, you're not going to finish it for me?
Nah.
You just want to watch me stuff it up, don't you?
I've already stuffed it up somehow.
Oh.
It's already come over the other side of the bin for some unknown reason.
Oh.
I was wondering about that.
So I'm going to go pick it up with the bucket there.
What'd you do that for?
I don't know. It just came out of nowhere.
Just try this. Next time you get to the end, stop.
It's no. It's come over the side, not over the back.
Oh, over the side.
Yeah.
Channeling that duck driving.
So, go back to Alice or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, well, see, I mean, these... No, so there's a problem with these silage pits.
Yeah, because...
Yeah.
Can't you see it, like, toppling over?
Yeah, so these silage pits are going to have to go. But the Giants ones are no better, as I understand. They do the same thing still. Can anyone else confirm that? Who was it that had silage pits?
It was me in the last map.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's been fixed since the 1.2.
All right, well, what we'll do... I take that out, we're going to lose that. What we need to do is we need to get all that silage out.
Alright, bring your truck over and get the trailers here. Because they're big enough, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go get your truck.
Yes, sir.
And the issue I had with those placeable ones was the fact that I couldn't get all of the silage out. It was... I still had 1,300,000 litres.
But didn't you have the problem of it
out
going
no
over the
matter
side
what.
as well? Didn't you have the problem of going over the
No.
sides? Oh, okay. All right. My mistake. All right. Well, we'll get that all out, and I'll remove that, and I'll put one of the Giants ones in there instead. I just like the look of those ones more, that's all. If they're not going to work, they're no good. So I'll have to make an edit to my LS Mod Company videos and make mention of that.
I wonder if that's a height map issue where the mesh for that is actually lower than the physical look of it.
I got no idea. You're asking the wrong person there. That's more of a question for Nathan or someone like that.
More thinking out loud, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, don't think out loud like that, about stuff like that to me, because you talk about GE type stuff and it does my head in.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, though. Looks like the collision doesn't go all the way up the wall.
Well, I could probably check that. I got the developer console running, but I don't know what I'm looking for. So, mate, Alton, you're not going to get any argument out of me on that whatsoever. That's one of my big bugbears with it at the moment. I mean, I'm happy to have oats as another crop, but they could have put far more variety in. But we're not going to go back down that track, are we?
No.
All right. Are you going to use that loading? That's what I was going to say. Use the loading wagon. You can go in and get most of it up.
I can, yeah. I got a little bit left. I'll put in.
Oh, you grab one of Stevie's conveyor belts.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, let's just do that. All right, I'll do that. Oh no, I don't have it on the server. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's all right. We're all good. All right. What we'll do is I'll also do a bit of trickery. We'll I've got one of Stevie's quick tractors here. 80. I'm going to lease a JCB.
I'll go grab it then.
I'll get it. You finish doing that while you're doing.
I don't know what I was doing. I was just putting this away.
That's all right.
Like, put this over here.
I'm going to grab the JCB because I'm already there. And then people can see my lovely driving at 80 kilometers an hour towing a conveyor belt. Because it's bound to crash somewhere. Oh, I didn't tell you actually. Last night I was moving some of the stuff over to the farm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, but I had the overloader on the back of the low loader.
Okay.
and I went flying around the road, and there's this bridge before you get to my first field, and I sort of had a bit of a problem with the overloader, and it ended up clipping the bridge, and the overloader ended up down the coastline. It actually flew that far. It went over, dropped down the little cliff and on near the beach. It went for miles. I don't know how the hell it did it, because I was doing about 85 kilometers an hour with a heavy load, but that was okay. I didn't think it was too much of an issue. That's the other thing too. I mean, I'll do another mini rant. The physics in this is not that good either. There's lots of issues I have with the physics in various areas.
Yeah, I'm finding more as I'm with this little one.
I don't mind the physics so much with the tractors. The tractors and all that are okay, and all that, but just in general, there's little hiccups you find, and it's just like, although I noticed today, or was it last night, that with the last patch they fixed the physics with when you let go of a trailer or whatever else, it doesn't go from one side of the map to the other. Because what happened the other day, we were on the MP server, I actually harvested that far field of mine, and I released the header. The header was one of those ones that folds up with the wheels on it, the flexi header or whatever it's called. Anyway, I let it go on top of the field. I was only doing like about 3 kilometers an hour, and I went to come back with a tractor to pick up the header and take it back to the farm, and the header was actually down the bottom towards the beach again. So it just ran away, and that was very poor. But yeah, seemingly they fixed that, so that's okay. I don't mind that. They fixed that. That's good.
Oh, you're here already.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to use here, guys, if you haven't already seen it, this is Stevie's modified conveyor. Now it is a lot quicker than the default, and it also automatically picks up as well. So you don't need to have the pickup conveyor as well. So when young DJ gets out of the way,
yep, I can right now. Go.
We'll go in. It might be best to get the Strautman trailer instead of trying to get the semi-trailers to offload.
Oh, it's almost full, so...
No, we got an up.
Oh.
No, what I was saying is get the, hang on. I'll do it. It's alright.
Alright. I was a bit confused, like, what the hell?
The Strautman's the default trailer we've got, like not a loader, but just the trailer, tipper trailer.
Oh, okay.
You parked over here somewhere, I think.
Oh, the overloader.
There's the crone.
The overloader's in the shed.
No, one over here. Do I really want to see it, Nathan? Nathan said he's going to send me a pic of the yard he made while he's watching my stream. So it could either be very good or very bad.
Yeah.
If it's a bit of a jumbled mess, maybe.
Just watch out.
Watch out for what?
Yeah, just see what he's done.
Well, for everyone with Nathan's farm, for Meadow Grove that comes out, if there are issues with it in a particular yard, then you can blame me. Don't blame Nathan, okay? I'll cop the wear for that one. Yeah, you've got an out, Nathan. You can just blame me.
Plus, he's used to getting blamed.
Harsh. Yeah.
I didn't say you deserved it. I just said you were used to it.
Oh, very harsh. Very unkind. You need some more Kumbaya lessons, I tell you. Alright, so we'll bring him back. Once we've emptied all this out, we'll, whoops. Oh, now I'm stuck. Ah, for crying out loud. Come off there. This could be interesting.
What's that?
Oh, the conveyor's caught up. Anyway, hopefully as he starts emptying, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
With the new update, have they adjusted the amount things cost when you repair them?
There was a mention of that. I don't know by how much.
Well, when I repaired before, it was normally around $50 or something like that, and I just repaired my tractor for the first time. It cost over $2,000.
Oh, look, I don't mind it being more expensive. I mean, that's a bit more realistic. I mean, $50 is a bit cheap. Call it the duck yard or something like that. Oh, I think what we might do is just dump all this in the silo, DJ, if it takes silage. One of them should take silage. And then once we've emptied it, we'll get rid of... Nathan said he's going to put a sign in the yard. Yard was made while listening to Duckzorly Rant. Yeah. Well, I mean, look. At least it might help me get more viewers. They might go and listen. Oh, well, maybe we need to go and see how bad this rant is. You're going to reverse the trailer in?
Yeah.
Go on then. Waiting.
It's not going, is it?
Yeah. You just got to keep
Look
coming.
like
You got to keep on coming back.
Yeah, I'll straighten up for you. Would have been easier.
Well, that'd be the idea. You come back fairly straight. The duck up. I like that, Elton. That's good. The duck up.
Pretty much under it. You know the funny thing is,
What?
you know what's not filling?
It's full?
It's full.
Well, go empty it.
I'm going. See you later.
I'll empty this other thing too.
Need it back there for you.
We need another hand.
Where you going?
I don't know. I don't know where
Yeah,
you
the
wanna
silos here, like right next to you,
Yeah, they're full as well. Remember?
with silage, full of grass, not silage.
Yeah.
It's not going to take silage.
No.
It's got grass written in the back of your tipper.
Oh, it is too.
That's grass.
Oh, why have you got grass in? Oh, gee. Good help's hard to find, I tell ya. Right.
Get back in your bloody.
I'm
Conveyor
going. Who's running this show? Not me, obviously.
Not me, not me either. I think it's JJ.
No, I'm just watching it and enjoying it.
You know, I'm actually looking forward in a way, but I'm really fearful of having both Jerry and Eustace in here at the same time. Be quite fun, but geez, it could be a mess. Hey, what's going on?
Whoa. I don't know. I didn't touch anything. That's you.
No, I wasn't touching anything. I was.
I didn't even do anything.
I was
I just saw
literally
you
sitting
move
back.
like crazy.
Right, come on. Are you loading now? It's alright.
Yeah, I'm loading now.
I'm just gonna try and get all this stuff at the front. Right.
I'll pick it up with the bucket,
Alright.
so don't worry about it.
Okay. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how to not do silage.
No.
Oh, why
Duckzorly stream. It's both informative and entertaining.
I'm not so sure about the informative side. I don't want to write checks I can't cash.
Oh, not to.
And special guest Tom Cruise.
Actually, I'm surprised I haven't actually seen Eustace or Jerry online. Actually, what's time over in LA? Vegas.
Grizz was on this morning, early this morning.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
He might be having a family night. I think Friday nights he normally has family night. Spend some time with the wife. They might have gone out somewhere too, I suppose. It's not as if their life should revolve around Farming Sim and my channel. Thanks, Fabio. I don't know if that's meant to be a compliment or a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it either way. It's not necessarily funny by design, I can assure you. But we certainly, if nothing else, we do try to have fun while we're playing in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, and that's part of when Duck, you know, decides to crash into something.
Stop. Go and unload, will you?
Am I right, Sly?
Are you full or not? Hurry up. Come on, I've got to finish this stream. I've got the girls going to be coming home soon, so the house is going to get very noisy. And it's bad enough having the 2 hecklers on the couch that I had before. I don't want 4 of them.
Oh, at least you got an audience.
That's what we hit up the modders for, a tow truck for you.
Did you pick up all that stuff? Oh, you did pick up stuff at the side.
No, it was more or less you picked it up because of the conveyor.
Hello. So hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody.
You don't have to speak right in. Right, now, off you go. Away you go.
Hello.
Alright. Now you've said hello. Off you go. Thank you. Right, that's the last of it coming out now. Not even going to worry about the rest of it that's in there. We'll just delete it.
Alright. There's one in the bucket though, so...
That's right. You can click that out of the bucket while I extricate the conveyor. And then... I just realised why I'm having so much trouble steering, but anyway. Alright.
The little wheel at the back doesn't automatically straighten up. It's
No, what it is for the conveyor I tend to use the keyboard because it's easy to control, but my steering wheel was offset, so it wasn't straight. Alright.
There you go, control.
There we go, so we'll do that. Right, now what we'll do is we'll go in here, and we'll go to the garage, and we'll delete this. And then what we'll do is we're going to end the stream around here. I'll put down the new silo so at least you can see all the clamp, so you can see that.
Tell me if I'm in the way.
Oh, I think that one's going to be a little bit too big. Yeah, just a tad bit too big. I think small. Small might be alright. So we'll just object collides with an object, right? So yeah, we've got to clear off these plants and stuff there. And then we'll be good to go. So what we'll do is we'll end it there because we've got a bit of work to do to try and finalise that off. Thanks very much for everyone for joining. Nathan, Alton, Robert early in the stream, to Sai, Jimmy J, Daniel J for joining us in Discord, and obviously for DJ and JJ for being on the stream with us in the map. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and check us out on Discord. Come and join us. You can join in some of the merriment. You can join this multiplayer server. It is on an invitation only sort of process, and it's only open to subscribers, Discord members, and also my Patreon. So if you want to come on and play, then consider becoming a patron of the channel, which helps us run this sort of stuff. It was great fun. Thanks, Nathan. I look forward to seeing that pic. I hope it wasn't too bad. And yeah, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again very, very soon back here at Duckzorly Gaming, and we'll catch you all then. See you all later. Bye.